Okay, looks like I'm on. Hello, Kingu Banki. Thank you for joining. Hello, hello. Okay, let me see. Yes, I am on Facebook, I am on YouTube, and I am on Instagram. Very good. Okay, good part of the day, my dear digital friends. Anna Deeter is here. And today is November 16th. It's 17:46, so 5:46 p.m. here in Miami area in the United States of America. So today's topic of our conversation, of course, will be again the same. We will talk about what speech, naturally, normal, balanced speech is, and what is so-called stuttering, any deviation from the natural speech norms. In simple way, we call it stuttering, stammering, cluttering, and so on. So I am Anna Deeter, and I am a pioneer of a brand new industry, brand new profession, called Etalon Speech Education. I am not a speech therapist, no longer a speech therapist. I am an Etalon speech educator. In simple way, I am a speech teacher. And not just a speech teacher, just a regular speech teacher. I teach people how to speak according to the natural speaking norms, because these norms exist. So today I am going to share this right now. Okay. And with my friends, with my Instagram friends. Hi, Limos Mama. Thank you so much for joining. Okay. So I am going to share information again. I'm going to talk a little bit about psychology of stuttering. I want to talk about how stuttering children grow up and become stuttering adults. So how does this process occur? Okay, I'm going to talk about it a little bit. It's called psychology of people who stutter. Where does it come from? So what I'm going to do right now, I will switch the screen. And I'm going to make it, of course, bigger. I'm going to go right here. Okay. And I will make the screen bigger like this. Let me know if you can see. This is, my dear Instagram friends. So this is one of the recent images I have posted on Instagram and on Facebook. But for those of you who watches this on YouTube, on Facebook, let me tell a little bit the story about how a young child, a stuttering child, who has not yet developed his accurate speaking skills. It's a skill. Speaking is a skill. So a child has not developed the skill of speaking accurately, saying accurately words. He's still learning. And all of a sudden, he just begins to make mistakes and he becomes a little lazy. He doesn't want to learn to speak, which is actually natural for children. Children don't want to learn. Children don't want to go to school. Children want to play, right? So this is why when young children attempt to do something and they do not succeed right away, and they have to repeat it, they have to do it again and again and again, children are kind of lazy, they don't want to repeat it again. And it's so much easier for a child to say, no, I can't do it. It doesn't work. I've tried it. It didn't work. I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. I am disabled. Okay, leave me alone, just give me my food. Give me some candies, right? So, and if a kind of naturally lazy child refuses to do something again and again and again, refuses to learn, and if at this point parents begin to feel sorry for him and they say, oh, it's okay, you don't have, hi Donna, the Therasaloi. Okay, Donna, hi Donna, thank you so much for joining. Okay, thank you for joining. Okay. Live video was paused because someone just called me. Okay, so once again, if at this point someone, adult, teachers, or parents, they feel kind of sorry for a child who did not succeed, and they say, it's okay, you don't need to do it. It's okay, you don't need to speak, you don't need to say this word again and again until you learn how to say this word. And it's not just about speaking, it's about anything we do. Imagine if a child who doesn't know yet how to write letters neatly, okay? And if a child grabs first time in his life, grabs a pencil and looks at the kind of model how the teacher wrote letter A, for example, the child would need to move his hand like this, right? Write one line, another line, and then the line in the middle. And if a child doesn't do it neatly, doesn't look good, he may say, no, I don't want to do it. Doesn't work. I can't do it neatly. And if the parent wouldn't say, what do you mean you can't? Do it again, again, again. And when you have done it several times, see how beautifully you're writing it now. Good job. So if the parents take a different position, if they say, oh, I know, it's so much, you have so much homework, or this teacher wants too much from a 5-year-old kid, from a 6-year-old kid. Oh, these teachers don't know what they ask my child to do. Okay? So if the parents, Donna Thera, just put your, thank you very much for questions. And oh yeah, you just wrote, it's important to encourage children, but in a positive way. You know what? We all children require different ways. Of course, it has to be positive, of course. Because, with children, as I have a friend who works with children with autism, she calls them late talkers. She's an amazing, amazing teacher, of course, as well. She calls herself language facilitator. She doesn't call herself speech pathologist. She calls herself language facilitator. And she always says, when we teach children, when we encourage children to do some work again and again and again, it has to be fun. And she has even written the book. The title is, if it's not fun, it's not fun. Yeah, I have Asperger's syndrome. You know what? Asperger's syndrome, I understand, Donna. But once again, they give all kinds of names for things that are not actually diseases or sicknesses. These things are simply not medical conditions. Okay, and when you say Asperger's syndrome, it tells me that you are a smart person. You are a very, very capable person. But the problem is, when you were young, you did not have the correct adults around you, the proper education. You didn't have it. Yes, you did maybe some specifics, because what they do today, they give children all kinds of vaccinations, all kinds of chemicals. We are surrounded with chemicals. They put chemicals even in our food. Okay, Yes, yes, I know Donna just wrote, you're so right about it. Yes. So, and of course, when this happens, our physical body, I mean, child's physical body becomes compromised. And a child becomes kind of a slow learner. Let me put it in this way, slow learner. And what used to be really easy and used to be very quickly for children, other children to learn, a child with a compromised health, body, physical body, even, chemistry is being compromised. All of a sudden, the brain becomes working kind of slower. Okay? So this child requires a little bit of a different approach. And from my experience, this kind of child needs more pushy behavior. Of course, it has to be positive, positive, positive. But when just positive doesn't work, see again, what is positive, what is negative? When we say these words, it's kind of hard to even understand, because what's positive for one person, for the other person could be negative. This is why when the parents think that, oh, this is too much for my child to learn, and also they hear from others that there are some kind of sicknesses, autism, Asperger's syndrome, this, that, they believe all this information, which is not actually accurate. Okay? But the parents believe it. And the parents begin taking side of a child. And the child, who is basically, no, it's kind of natural child's laziness. And instead of pushing a child to simply repeat it, do it again, move your hand again, and you will learn how to write neatly. Do it again, and then find a good reward for this particular child. And by the way, only parents know their child the best, okay? But unfortunately, once again, the parents believe that something is wrong with the therapy, like treatment is wrong, or something is wrong. The teacher is giving too much homework, and the parents say, it's okay, you don't need to do your homework. And a child begins to feel comfortable. This kind of children, natural laziness, as a person grows, it becomes a kind of his habit, his or her. Okay? So children become comfortable. They say, I don't want, it doesn't work, I can't, I am disabled. They pretend that they are disabled, that they really cannot do it. And they seek for parents' support. And when this happens, the child grows into an adult who believes that this is a really cool thing to have. When you pretend that you are disabled, that you can do something, then you don't have to go to work, basically. Okay? This is why, if you look at the picture, you will see on this image it says, I can't, it doesn't work, I'm disabled, leave me alone and feed. Okay, this is the key part. Hi, the show 60, thank you for joining. Hi, hola, mina, mesji. Sorry, I have no idea how to read your profile name. Thank you so much for joining. Yeah. Sometimes people just curious, they just look inside and they leave. Thanks for stopping by. Okay, so once again, this little picture tells the whole story of the psychology of laziness that grows through the years from a childhood laziness to a laziness of an adult. Adult becomes accustomed to being lazy. Adults don't want to do much. They just sit and wait when others are gonna do some work for them. In this case, when you look at this picture, in this case, this is a little child, and in this case, the parents will do everything for this child, okay? So there you can see the mother, the father, the child doesn't want to do the homework, and the mother is working with him, just explaining something. The whole family is involved, okay? But a child doesn't want to do it. So if these parents are good, of course, they're gonna do the right thing. They're gonna demand, push, encourage, whatever words you want me to say. Just make sure that the child will do it again. If he didn't write something neatly, he has to write it more and more neatly. He has to write it again and again until his writing is perfect. Okay? So, and if they if they say, oh, that's okay, you're gonna write tomorrow, then again, a child will learn that if I say I can't, I don't have to do the work. Do you understand me? I hope you do. So Donna, if you have any questions, just feel free to write. It's about psychology of people with Asperger's syndrome, with whatever, autism, with stuttering, because stuttering is a simple form of autism. So let me go take a look if I have any questions on Facebook and on YouTube. No, not yet. Okay, very good. So I'm gonna go back, and while people are joining, I'm still waiting for people to join, at least on Facebook. Let me simply read the article that I have written on Instagram. So make sure that I didn't forget anything. And the article, if you look at the picture, you see this is my article. So I'm gonna read it so I wouldn't forget anything. So the title of this article is, How Do Stuttering Children Become Stuttering Adults? Each stuttering child fakes and sabotages the process of his or her speech work. This is what you see, the picture. This could be a stutterer when, let's say, the parents ask a child to read something out loud, and the child says, no, I don't want to do it. I can't. Doesn't work. Every time I read, I make mistakes. I stumble, and other kids are going to laugh at me. So a child sabotages this process of simply training to read out loud. And this is also part of the speech work. It must be done. At some point of their childhood, people who stutter, most stutterers refuse to speak or read out loud and begin to avoid talking or reading out loud. As the result, their speech skills, reading out loud skills is also speaking skills, remain underdeveloped. They distort and degrade as people who stutter grow up. Parents, speech therapists, or doctors, these people, adults, are absolutely powerful to help such children pretenders. And of course, at first, they're children, and then when they grow up, of course, they become adults, adult pretenders. And they don't even realize that they are pretenders. It's a psychological layer that is coming from their childhood. They have learned, if I pretend that I am disabled, good for me. I'm not going to be forced to go to work. I'm not going to have to do something. In this case, when you look at the child, my parents are going to do everything. My mother will go to school and talk to the teacher and explain that I can't read, I can't speak, that maybe the teacher is going to stop asking me to read. in the classroom, okay? So this child just pretends he's a disabled person, and the parents are gonna do all the work for him. So such simulation can be eliminated effectively in only one way. The one who doesn't do the work should not eat. This is a very, very kind of the bottom line. If you didn't do the work, you should not be eating. If you did not do your homework, if you didn't complete your homework, you came from school and you brought bad grades, no, you're not going to get things that you want. You're not going to get to play your favorite video game. You're not going to, I don't know, get your favorite food. Yeah, of course, you're going to eat some like bread and water. You'll survive, but nothing extra, nothing. You have to earn your right for some kind of extras. This is very, very bottom line, the bottom line. So in order to, and it's adult life. This is a preparation for adult life. I mean, when we go to grocery stores, nobody gives us anything for free, right? We have to pay with money. And where do we get money? From work. We have to do some work. And only after we have moved our muscles, we have done the work, then guess what? Only then we can receive the benefit of our work. We can earn our right to receive the benefit. And when we are talking about children, of course, children don't get money, but children get toys, favorite games, favorite foods, and stuff like this. And as a person who stutters grows up, it's still the case. Because unfortunately, adult stutterers already refuse to make phone calls, to do presentations when they're in high school, for example, okay? To make presentations, to go through oral examinations. They refuse, they bring all kinds of notes from doctors that they're disabled and stuff like this. So, and of course, gotta understand, if you do not have a good quality communication skills, high quality of your speech, you cannot have, absolutely never can have a high quality job. Because a good job equals good speech, good communication skills. Yes, some people make nice money when they communicate online, just using their typing skills, because a lot of people who start to learn how to write, how to spell words, how to write in a good way, okay? So once again, thank you so much for stopping by, Nels, okay? So once again, I'm gonna continue reading that if the parents are going to continue to let their child skip the work, okay, then, God, someone is keeps sending me messages, okay. Then guess what? Then you guys, then this child is gonna grow into adult, and he's gonna begin refusing some muscle work. This is already more serious, because you gotta understand, when a child refuses to learn to do something, he actually refuses his own future. But a child is a child. A child is very kind of, is irresponsible, let's put it in this way. A child doesn't have responsibility yet, okay? But the parents should take this responsibility for the future of this child, because our future is totally based on a set of skills we have learned. When we're young, of course, the first job we get, it's based on the skills we have learned when we were children. Do you understand me? So if you are a child, and you haven't learned, let's say, wash your room, clean up, vacuum, or do grocery shopping, something like basic, go and buy bread or milk, something basic. If you haven't learned how to do it, then guess what? Jobs like caretaking jobs or washing cars, the basic jobs where you don't have any education, but you already can make money, they are not available for you because you haven't learned these simple basic skills when you were a child. And the same with speaking. If you haven't learned to move your tongue to say accurately words, guess what? You will never get a job that requires high mastery of speaking skills. Okay, so let me go look at the okay, StreamYard. No, I don't have any. Yeah, I see a couple of people watching here. So good evening, my dear friends. And if you have any questions about speech, stuttering, and the psychology of a person who stutters, why and how it happens that the person, young person, a child who is naturally lazy to learn to do certain things, learn to move his or her muscles, and refuses to do some work and kind of doesn't learn, how does this person eventually become an adult who stutters, an adult who is a lazy one and refuses to do anything? And I just go ahead and ask if you have any questions. Okay, so let me see, let me go back here. So as I explained to you, that if the parents are doing such a bad thing for their child and they relieve their child from moving his or her muscles, from learning the skills, they are really going to have a bad time, hard time, when this child grows up and becomes a teenager and becomes a young adult. The child is not going to be ready to join the workforce. He's not going to be able to get a job. He's not going to be able to go through college, even if it's a college where a child requires to speak. Because some colleges today don't require people to speak, students to speak. So once again, if parents didn't do a good job raising a child and making sure that the child has learned a lot of skills, because this is the parents' responsibility, and making sure that your child learns to speak accurately, to say accurately any word, anywhere, anytime, it's the responsibility of the parents. And of course, if you are a good parent, you are not going to believe speech therapists, doctors, that stuttering is some kind of a disability. Because you will see that any skill we learn to perform with any part of our body, we simply need to adjust the muscle that we're using to perform the skill, to move it accurately, to perform the skill correctly. And if we take any skill, let's say, as I already mentioned, if you want to teach your child how to vacuum, at least in his room, you got to give him the vacuum cleaner and making sure that he is doing a good job. He's not sitting on the vacuum cleaner, he's not playing with it, but he is really catching all the dust particles. You can make it a game, but you gotta take the attention of a child to the end result and tell him, look how clean your carpet is now. You are doing a fantastic job. You have a magic muscles of your hands. You have a magic muscles. Your body is doing a great job. Use it more often. Do it again. Do it again. Hi, our Kian, thank you for joining, guys. Simeon, I don't know, thank you for joining. Thank you, guys. So if you want your child to learn skills, including speaking, of course, because speaking is also a muscular skill, you as a parent need to encourage your child to do it, to use the muscles to perform this skill. If you want your child to learn to play the musical instrument, a child kind of shows the interest, a child comes to a piano and begins boom, 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 making noises. You can tell to the child, wow, you're making a lot of loud noises, but you know what? You want to learn how it sounds beautifully, and if you play beautiful music, you can just play it and say, you can do it as well? You want to learn? Oh, yeah, let me teach you. And begin teaching and encouraging a child, saying, yeah, you're doing a fantastic job. Let's do it again and again and again. Now you sound great. Listen how beautiful your fingers are moving. And can you hear what a beautiful melody you just played? You always have to grab a child's attention to the end result and encourage him or her to do the action, muscle action again and again and again, so the child would sound beautifully. Okay, and he would be so proud of his muscle work made accurately. He would be so proud of that. So once again, I'm going to talk about this slogan. I can't, it doesn't work, I'm disabled, leave me alone and feed. These are all the slogans of most children who stutter, most of the time. They say, I cannot do it, and they stop doing it. Okay? So I'm going to switch to me so people would be listening a little bit. Yes, I'm still here. Let me turn the light off here. Not too much light, too bright in my eyes. Okay, so this is what I wanted to talk about. And because there are not too many, buenos dias desde Colombia. Thank you so much, Simeon. Buenos dias, yes. Buenos dias is morning, right? Buenas tardes, because it is, 6 o'clock p.m. And because there are no questions, I guess I'm going to wrap it up. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to talk right now. And let me give you just briefly again information that if you or your loved one, your child, or someone who you take care of suffer from dealing with stuttering, and if you are sick and tired of dealing with stuttering for years, then I'm the one you need to come to, and I will, with pleasure, I will gladly explain to you what you need to do to end stuttering once and for all in a very, very short time with 100% success guarantee. Okay? So, Deeter, lots of love and see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.